Hello traders, Rich here and welcome to Bitcoin in a Minute Day 66. As usual, if you like this series, let me know in the comments or simply leave a like. So let's do it. As we clearly see, Bitcoin rejected our 18K, 20K support, traded higher, and then rejected this trend line and we traded lower. So now we are diving back inside the 18, 20K support. That's why we'll be looking for busted ups unless the bears take over by a big bearish daily candle close daily or weekly below this zone. In this case, further bearish movement would be expected, but for now, let's take it step by step. And if you remember, as mentioned yesterday, that we are now bullish. We broke above this last major high from H4. We were bearish previously, impulse correction, then the boost took over by breaking above this last major high as highlighted in green. And so now the boost took over and we're expecting a correction before the next impulse movement start. And for the bear to take over, as mentioned yesterday, if you remember, we were trading inside this rising broadening wedge, and if we have a break below this low and the trend line, in this case the correction would start. As you can clearly see, it happened. So we are currently bearish from a short-term perspective, but from a market structure perspective, we are bullish from H4. So this is a correction before the next bullish impulse movement start. Now the bulls can take over here, or we can still dive inside the zone to fill this demand zone before we trade higher. That's why we zoom into lower time frames and wait for the bulls to take over. For now, of course, it's still early to identify a zone, just like we did here, but let's do it anyway. Of course, I'll be updating it tomorrow. For now, this is our last high from H1 time frame. For the bulls to take over and to be able to trade higher, we need to see a break above it from H1 or H4. Meanwhile, we would be bearish and we can still trade lower and lower as mentioned from H4 to fill this demand dive inside the zone before the bulls take over. In this case, I'll be updating my trigger swing just like we did here. If you remember, we were bullish until the bears take over. We are bearish until the bulls take over, speculating this next impulse movement upward. And we'll be looking for buy stops inside this zone, unless, of course, as mentioned from daily, unless we see like the bears keep or remain in control, drag the price down, and we break below it from daily and weekly time frame. In this case, we'll be expecting a long-term bearish movement. That's it for Bitcoin. Best of luck, and I'll see you on the next one.